Okay, hey everybody, welcome to the Monday Mastermind. We'll get all your questions answered, walk you through whatever you need to do. It's a holiday, so I'm sure not a lot of people are going to be here. I didn't see many questions. Were there any questions, Valerie? Or are we just like chatting for an hour?
Yeah, we don't have, I don't see very much. Yeah, I think everybody's on their holiday duty, but yeah, it's open for discussion right now. So whatever you guys, I didn't see anything in the group. So if there's some things you want to cover.
Sure.
Oh, Grant has one. Good. Awesome. Way to kick it off. He has 4. Jeez, Grant, show off.
It's going to mute. Okay. Oh, sorry. Muted you for a second.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Muting everybody. Yeah, so if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat. You can come on video or audio or whatever you want to do. I guess we'll see what Grant has to say. What questions did Grant have, Valerie?
All right. So besides, well, it's on finding and buying from non-store liquidators. So besides Google, are there any other ways you use to find non-store liquidators?
Do you mean like big liquidators for like pallets? I'm not sure what a non-store liquidator would be.
If you could clarify that,
Grant. How do you avoid products that are damaged or returned when buying?
Yeah, pallets.
Is there always a certain percentage that do come damaged or might be returns? I was wondering what your estimate might be. Okay, so we're basically talking about pallets and truckloads, as you said. Well, number 2, basically, when you're buying returns, you need to expect at least probably 10 to 30% is going to be damaged. If the returns, they're all returns. You need to ask these liquidators. They're usually going to tell you the truth. Talk to them, before you set up an account, talk to whoever you can talk to, and, try and get a judge for the kind of people they are, what you're dealing with, because, some of them are unscrupulous and some are good people are just trying to sell some stuff. So if it seems like somebody who is going to want your return business over and over, that's who you want to deal with, because some of them are just trying to sell whatever they can. If you're buying, volume of pallets and truckloads, then what's going to happen is mostly when you're buying big volume, they're not even touching the stuff. With big liquidation, you buy something, for example, at Kohl's through a liquidator, it's going to come directly from Kohl's distribution center. So, the way it works, if you're not much into liquidation, is they take, for clothing, for example, or shoes, at the end of a season, they just take everything off the shelves and they box it up. And when they get however much they need to get rid of, it goes back to that store's distribution center. And when they get truckloads full, then they send them to the liquidation companies. So if you're buying by the truckload, a lot of times you're going from that distribution center directly to you. So there's no 2 extra shipping. It's only the one-time shipping from the store, like Kohl's, for example, right to you. And then you would be paying the shipping there. So it doesn't have to take that extra step going to your liquidation store and then being shipped to you. So you don't have to worry about cherry picking and, sorting things out and all of that, because it's coming right to you. You don't have to worry about all those other problems where people are going to take the good stuff off. And, that's only tiny stores that are doing that to you. So when you get to that volume, you don't have to worry about that anymore. You're just getting whatever Kohl's wants to get rid of. So optimally, you don't want to get returns. But in the long run, getting returns is where you're going to make the most amount of money. If you buy returns, you might have 30, and rarely it's more, but, even 30 to 40% is better than buying things that aren't returns. because the price is so much more money. You can buy a whole truckload of returns from almost any store for about $5,000, not counting the shipping. So if you're doing that, if you just bought shelf pulls or new or overstock, the same thing could be double or triple that. So you're making a lot more money on that.
Oh, did you stop? I thought maybe.
Yeah, my sound went up for a second. So that's basically what you're going to get, and you can load everything up and get. What we personally do is, I have somebody that sells on eBay for me, and I also have some people that sell at local flea markets for me. So we take our Amazon stuff first, and if it's a big volume, if we have hundreds or thousands of stuff, we usually just give that to the people in the groups. If we have 5 of something or 1 of something, we're selling it. But now when we get, the large volume items, that's what we pass on to everybody else, because it's easier for us to list on our own account, 1 or 2 of an item, for 100 different things, than to make all the listings and pass it on to you. So that's where we get our the deals that we pass on, is when it's big volume of a single item. So if it's not sellable on Amazon, then I just give it, and I think I can sell it on eBay. I give it to the guy who sells on eBay. I have a 2-story warehouse, which I've posted several videos of. So the whole top story is just for listing on eBay and boxes and storing and all of that. So if it's not something for eBay, and then I think, like seasonal items, small items for Halloween right now or Christmas, we just get, I have somebody at a flea market who sells all that for me. And then everything else, if it's broken or damaged or, ripped up packaging that, it's just not worth selling on those platforms, we put them back on the pallets. We make a whole pallet and I put an ad on Craigslist, and we sell it for between $100 and $500, depending on what it is. So if you're selling on Amazon, and don't have all those other places to sell, do the same thing. Everything that you don't think is worth selling, that 10 to 30 or more percent, you load that back up on pallets, and you just find somebody, the first person you can find to come get it, just sell them those pallets, because they're going to take it to flea markets or sell it at yard sales or whatever they do with it. I see tons of those people doing it, and they love the low end stuff. They're never going to see their customers anyway, so they don't care if it's damaged or the box is ripped or all the problems that as Amazon sellers we'd have to worry about. So that's how we clear out all of our inventory.
You can even post, they could even post an ad on Craigslist or something, yeah?
Yeah, that's what I just said. We post an ad on Craigslist.
Yeah.
And we sell the pallets for $100, up to $500, depending on what it is. If it's like better electronics or things like that, they're gonna, they might get $100 out of one item.
Yeah, we have OfferUp up here. That's like an app. I don't know if that's everywhere, but OfferUp. There's plenty of apps aside from Craigslist as well. I mean, you guys can get it off your hands.
Yeah, there's Craigslist, there's Backpage.
Yeah.
So,
Grant, did that answer everything, Grant?
No, not really.
Do you have any that extend lines of credit?
How do you tell the good ones from the bad ones? Are there any review sites? There's really no review sites for them. A lot of, you got to find the ones that, what I do is find the ones that are big and have big warehouses. So most of them you see, have giant lists of things they have, but all they are brokers. Some of them are just some guy, in his house, in his home office, in his bedroom, just, getting these lists from real liquidators and blasting out these things to their email lists that they've built up over time. So all that happens is you basically look on their websites, contact them, ask them how big their warehouse is, and the people that don't have giant warehouses are the people I don't want to buy from, because some stuff will be coming directly to me, but I don't want them taking their cut. I mean, why give somebody an extra 10, 20, 30% when you can go out and do a little research and find where they're buying from? So go to those big, it doesn't even have to be a big company. But if they got a 50,000 square foot warehouse or something like that, that's the kind of companies I'm looking for, where they can get, 10 or 12 truckloads in at a time and then sell them off as by the pallets. Do I have any that extend lines of credit? I don't really use lines of credit, but when you do your applications, when they're looking for those credit references, those are the ones that extend lines of credit. None of them are giving credit themselves. They're going through some company that has lines of credit. Your best bet, if you're looking for credit, is just to go to your bank and, get your own line of business credit. And then you're going to have the lowest rates. You already have, whatever kind of setup you have going with your own bank. If you already have your accounts, if you have a bank account there, they might be open to giving you a business line of credit. So if you get a $20,000 line, and you only need $5,000, you take what you want and you pay it back as you can. That's the best way to go. Don't try and set up, it's all going to be based on your credit score. So if you go to your own bank or you go to one of these companies, it's going to be based on the same credit score, and it's going to be the same, the same money basically. So, just try and go with your own bank. I don't use lines of credit. We do use some credit cards, but we pay them off, basically without paying any interest. Aaron wants to know, how do you ship a box that you sell on eBay? Call UPS and have
pallet.
What did I say? Box? Okay. How do I ship a pallet that I sell on eBay? Call UPS and tell them you have a pallet to ship. You can do that. There's UPS freight, and they'll come pick it up. UPS freight isn't the cheapest, but it might be the easiest. Find some trucking companies in your area. Ask around. Basically, your best bet is going to be to find, I don't know if you have a truck to deliver it or a pickup truck, but if you go to a trucking company or even go to UPS, you can take it to them, and it's going to save you a lot of money. So you can go to their distribution center in their area, and let it go right from there. And it's the same thing with picking up. If you want to deliver a pallet, you can go to the trucking company's distribution, have it delivered to their distribution center, and then just go there and break the pallet down and load it in your vehicle. And it's going to save that extra step of delivering. And if they deliver, then they're going to have a lift gate if you don't either have a forklift or some kind of dock, which I'm pretty sure most people don't have a dock.
Buy groceries. Were you finished with that one?
Yeah, I was finished with that.
Do you buy groceries from other places other than liquidators and coupon stockpiles?
Oh yeah, we buy everywhere. We buy groceries at Ross. Ross is a great place. Valerie, you sourced at Ross.
Yeah, it's really great.
They get a lot of high-end stuff that you literally can't find anywhere else. What was the brand that you bought, Valerie?
I don't remember. It was a coffee. There was a coffee, and then there was a popcorn that was like some gourmet popcorn that sold.
Right,
sold
and that gourmet, I remember it was at one of the high-end stores. Was the only place you can buy that at.
Yeah, they were awesome finds. But again, you had to scan everything,
Right, basically scanning everything at Ross. Whatever you're available to sell in. And we're approved in almost everything, so we sell in almost everywhere. But that's not the point. The point is what you want to look for. We go to we buy at grocery stores, not just on clearance. We go and we buy at full price. Everybody is talking about buying at regular stores. We don't talk about it because everybody else already is, but we try and focus on things that are, not the norm. So, we're giving you opportunities to look in places you're not already looking. But yes, we do source at Walmart, and we have Publix here, we have Winn-Dixie here, but it doesn't matter what you have. If you have Myers, you have Kroger. I'm not sure what's in, your area, but the store doesn't matter. What you want to do is find local chains, that might not be in all parts of the country, because they're going to be stocking things that you can't find in that someone else can't find in other places. And that's where you get the big markup. People will go to Trader Joe's and Whole Foods because somebody is used to buying that brand. Even if it's a store brand, they buy it there, and then they go, they move from New Jersey to California, and they don't have those stores there. They don't have those store brands. They don't have a Trader Joe's, and then they have to buy. They have to go and buy it on Amazon, because that's the only opportunity. And that's when you can buy, a $5 item and sell it for $30 or $40, because there's absolutely no other choice. And that's where you get great markups and good returns. But I like buying at what they call Mexican stores, or the Chinese stores, Asian stores. They're importing a lot of products. They're selling products that you just can't find in the mainstream. Local, regional, independent grocery stores are going to be buying things not the same way that the big chains are. You have to beg and plead and, try over and over again to get, as a manufacturer, your products into a store like Walmart. So the smaller companies who aren't making hundreds of truckloads, to send to these stores, when they don't even make that much in a year, like places like Walmart and Target, you can find them in the smaller chains, because, they're buying directly from the manufacturer. It might only make one or two products that aren't getting into those big chains. And that's where your opportunities to create your own product listings on Amazon are, and, create listings for items that just aren't being sold, and, sell items that other people just can't source locally. That's why we post all of these wholesale deals. The person who was doing the wholesale deals, Mark, he don't work with us anymore. But I do have tons of deals. We're just trying to get them all sorted out. But we will be posting them again, probably starting tomorrow. So, but we post these wholesalers that nobody else has found, that nobody even knows about, that I've met at trade shows, that have contacted me, or people that we work with, and most of them aren't even selling on Amazon. Some of the members have created exclusive deals where they're now the only people selling on Amazon for them, and some of them were already on Amazon. Some of them have made deals where they're not even, the items weren't listed on Amazon. Some of the manufacturers were selling themselves, and they stopped selling once they found, and made a deal with, some of the people in our group. So there's a lot of opportunity to make deals with these manufacturers, or not make deals, just to buy from them and create your own listings on Amazon. Some of the items are on Amazon and some aren't. Some of these companies are importers, and some that we found are manufacturers. So there's a ton of places to buy grocery, but we're not afraid to buy at full price. We buy a ton of stuff every week at full price, and we sell it on Amazon. There are huge markups on Amazon. You just have to keep scanning until you find the right products. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. I mean, if you're in here, you already know that, but it takes a lot of hard work. And if you get into that store and do, what I've told time and time again, which is scan a whole aisle, every item from top to bottom, and work your way down the aisle, you're going to find a lot of good products that you can sell on Amazon for great returns.
Yeah, a lot of people make the mistake of focusing on clearance items, and that's not, that's definitely just not the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, we're in Florida, we're in Tampa, we travel all around this area, Tampa, Orlando, all the way across, up, we've done the whole state basically, and clearance isn't so great here. When you see the pictures where Walmart marked their prices down, from $99.99 to $99.98 or $99.90 or $99, that's what we see. We see products that are just not being marked down well. It's not like a big market like Texas or California where we only, they're getting 50, 75, 80% off on Legos. It just doesn't happen here.
All right.
Can you talk about selling M&Ms and, okay, I'm skipping ahead. Aaron wants to know,
skip ahead actually, because Aaron is not by the computer. He just walked away. So do Debbie's anyway.
Okay.
Oh, or Aaron's back, so if you want to address it, you can.
Okay. Okay, so Aaron wanted to know, do I think it's worth saving up $5,000 to buy pallets? I never have money because it's tied up in RA, OA, and wholesale.
Just how it should be.
Would recommend securing a line of credit. When people are starting out, I think that it's not a bad idea, to put a little money on maybe a credit card. But it's your business. I wouldn't say save up or, get a credit line to buy a pallet of returned items. You never know what you're getting, or a truckload, I mean. You don't need to buy a truckload, you don't have to spend $5,000 on pallets. You can spend a few $100s and buy one pallet, so we're not talking about a whole lot of money. Just get out there and start looking. It only takes a little bit of your time, to contact these liquidators, have them, talk to them, call them on the phone, tell them what you do, what you're looking for, and let them know that that you're selling on Amazon, that what you want to do is, find the items that are only 100 days from expiring, tell them that they have to look new, or you have to be able to get them to look new. And when you're ready, they're going to contact you and tell you. I mean, I'm on hundreds of lists, and, I have about 20,000 unread emails because I get so many emails from these companies. Some of them are 10 or 20 emails a day. Some of them are sending me with deals. So, and they overlap because a lot of them are selling the same items, but they're going to contact you and tell you what they have. So you don't have to spend $5,000, and that's the low end. Some pallets, I see are $2,000 or $3,000 for one pallet. And there's $100,000 truckloads. The $5,000 is basically, like Walmart returns a truckload. But you can buy a pallet for, a few $100s. And if it's local, then you can go and pick it up, if you have a decent sized vehicle. Selling M&Ms, as it gets closer to the time in the next few weeks, we're going to talk about that. What you have to remember is there's no automated process for knowing what's meltable. You can open a case and ask Amazon, but right now, everything that they have that's meltable is restricted from inbound shipping. So if you try to list it, it's going to tell you it's restricted, just like an item you're not approved for. As far as meltable, so when you get into that time and you don't know, you'll have to open a case and ask. What works for us is looking at what's sold historically. Look at what was good sellers last year using, things like Price Zombie, Camel, Keepa. Go look and see what, if it was ranked 1,000, last Halloween, then it's going to be a good seller now. So that's how we look to the future to figure out what it is. It's not October 1st, that it can be at the warehouse. It's October 1st before you can list it. So, we're already buying some Halloween candy, and we're in Florida. So basically the way it works is, I'm less worried about things melting, and I'm more worried about things getting received at the warehouse. So if they receive it, if you buy candy, send it in, list it, they receive it, and they accept it. If it gets shipped to a customer and it's melted, well, that's Amazon's responsibility. They take responsibility for fulfillment. So you know, what we're going to have to do is worry about making sure that they accept it. You know, it's not our responsibility to make sure it gets to the customer. That's why we pay so much money to Amazon for their fulfillment services, is so that they can make sure and they take responsibility for all the customer service and damaged items. You know, I've never had a negative feedback, you know, not removed because an item was melted or candy was broken or any kind of damage that the customer complained about. So, you know, the way I look at it going forward is finding what was selling hot last year. And, you know, it's not as easy as it sounds, but it's not really that hard either. You know, so when we're talking about M&Ms, most of the M&Ms were selling last year. Go look at that history. You know, go back, you know, 10 or 11 months now and find what's, you know, what's going to be good for you. You know, you can see the sales prices and you can see what the ranks are. You know, most M&Ms are good sellers. Some of them tank, but I mean, I've made a ton of money, you know, on the carrot cake M&Ms and birthday party M&Ms and, you know, all the goofy flavors. They have Target usually has an exclusive flavor. Walmart sometimes has exclusives for the different seasons, and then the next year they're sold everywhere.
Candy apple M&Ms were really good last year.
Oh yeah, candy apple M&Ms were at Walmart. Black cherry they had. So, you know, there's a ton of flavors every year that come out. And you want to get those hot flavors, you know, get them the minute you can. Get them to Amazon, you know, because the price is going to tank. You know, obviously, if it's selling at every Walmart, you know, the price is going to tank. So, you know, you get them in early if you can. If you can't, you know, buy them on clearance, and the price is going to go back up when everyone else that tanked sells out. You know, it's the same with every category. You know, you either get in early or you wait out all the people who don't want to wait. I mean, some of those M&Ms were selling so cheap that, you know, that I was buying them. The white chocolate ones, you know, I was buying them on Amazon after they sold out because everybody was trying to dump them. Grant wanted to know again, I'm buying returns. The items I'm sending to Amazon, what additional prep do I do? Like opening the boxes and checking if it works. Yeah, well, you know, it's one of those common sense things, Grant. You got to look at the box and, you know, figure out if it actually is, you know, been opened. You know, a lot of them, the tape is still sealed. You know, when you see Scotch tape or duct tape or, you know, strapping tape, you know the box has been resealed. But, you know, most of the items we get, even returns, you know, you can tell the difference between if it's been opened or if it hasn't. If it's been opened, we test it. You know, if it looks used, then, you know, if the packaging looks used and it's been opened and it still tests, you know, we might sell it used or we might just get rid of it. You know, it's one of those things where even most returns really aren't returns. You know, somebody buys something or it gets thrown on the floor or it gets left at the cash register, it all goes in the same place with the returns. So, you know, you just have to look at, you know, you have to use common sense. It's a common sense thing. You know, is a customer going to think this is a used item? But for the most part, you know, unless you're buying salvage. Salvage, like, basically means it's been broken and somebody smashed it with a hammer. So just don't ever buy salvage. And,
that's usually what I do.
You know, look at returns. Don't start out buying a truckload. Somebody posted somewhere in one of my groups that they bought 30 pallets of used toys, and most of them were damaged. So, you know, that's not the place to start buying. Don't go out and buy a truckload and say you want to get into liquidation. Buy a couple pallets and, you know, see what you're actually getting into, you know, and work your way up from there. I mean, there is, you know, a ton of money to be made doing it, but, you know, you have to know what you're dealing with. It's you know, it's very time consuming. You know, it's not like going to a retail store, buying new things off the shelf and sending it in, but the returns are just so much better.
And you got to think about the product you're buying as well. Just, again, common sense it. If it's something that plugs in, if it's something like a coffee maker. I went the first time that I went to a wholesaler, they had a pallet full of humidifiers, and I could tell that they looked like they'd been opened, and they weren't just like a shelf full. They looked like they had been opened. So kindly enough, the guy let me open one to see, and I could tell that it had actually been returned. There was water, so they had like all the pieces were there, everything was working great, but there was like a water residue in the humidifier. So I would just use common sense. What's the product? What's its function? What are you looking for? You know, if it's going to be a return product. So.
Right, but this was, you know, they probably took all the good stuff and already sold it.
Yeah.
And then this was all the stuff that looked open. So they were doing what I said to do, which was get rid of all the junk that didn't look new.
Yeah.
So, you know, instead of posting them on Craigslist, they may have had some kind of a store or liquidation thing selling to flea market vendors, and they were just selling all the stuff that they couldn't sell. They might not have been selling on Amazon, you know, but they were selling in some marketplaces new. So if it didn't look brand new to them, you know, they just did what you've seen, and you didn't see the good stuff.
No, they had, I mean, and they had, remember I had shown it to you, and they had all of their good stuff, brand new, just tons of, I mean, you could just tell they sold, there were those baby monitors and baby, you know, pumps, all sorts of stuff that they had already immediately, you know, they had somebody that they built a relationship with, and that's the first person they called, and they got all the good stuff, you know. So, I mean, there was tons of money to be made, but yeah, the return stuff, that's, if it is something that's returned, that's just what to look for, that I was kind of going for. So yeah. Is that, I think we're caught up on questions. Is that everybody? Did anybody have anything else to touch on? Did you have anything, Uncle Sean, to touch on?
Yeah. So I think the very first question was, how else do I find liquidators besides Google? And, you know, well, you know, there's word of mouth. There's, you know, I've posted a ton of great liquidators in our group. And, you know, you're not going to find searches, you know, other than Google. Now, we have posted a couple of places, like it's called the IMASD, which is a place that liquidators actually contact, you know, and they get listed in their, you know, marketplace. So if you go to imasd.org, I believe, there is a, yeah, it's imasd.com, and you can search by the state. And I'm going to try and bring this up here.
There's also the book. Our book's a great place to find those.
Well, yeah, that's, you know, that's, our book is on retail liquidation, which is basically, you know, if you want to go cherry pick what you want to buy. So they're buying truckloads, and then they put it all out on the shelves. But if you want, you know, if you want to be buying the truckloads, then, you know, our book probably isn't the, you know, the place to look. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and actually share my screen. So this is called the IMASD, and I'll post in the chat, and we'll post it in the group. If I can bring the chat up right now, but it's just the imasd.com, and then they have an alphabetical list, but you can also search by state. So not every state is listed, but they have, you know, tons of listings for a lot of states. So it's a good place to start. And you go here and it has a description of them. And then, you know, not all of them update the information, but it does have their phone numbers and contact information. So this is a great place to start. Usually I just go to, you know, I'm just going to Google, and you can search, you know, basically anywhere. I'm in Florida, so, you know, I'll look for Florida liquidation. I'm in Tampa. Florida liquidators, you know, and there'll be, you know, just a ton of places. You know, you have to basically, you know, forget about a lot of them. But Merchandise Liquidators is a great one that I recommend everybody to look at. They're located in Miami. We've bought from them. A lot of people have visited there. They have small lots. They have things where you can buy just a lot of 100. They'll sell you things by the pallet. They have truckloads. So you can buy just about anything there. And here are some samples. Like a whole truckload of food is $13,000. Unless you're selling somewhere at a flea market, I wouldn't recommend that because there's a lot of expired items. General merchandise, 29 pallets, 34 pallets, 31 pallets. I'm not sure where these are from, but you know, this could be any regular department store. So this is probably like a Kmart or a Walmart. If they have electronics, toys, office furniture, kitchen patio, grills, car accessories. Usually they won't tell you, you know, where the source is because they don't want people searching for something like Walmart or Kmart. But you can also search, they also have listings for pallets. You know, Rimmel Cosmetics, they're out of England and London, and they have, you know, a ton of good deals. And as you can see, they're usually shelf pulls, but they're, you know, they're usually in pretty good condition. You know, it takes a lot of work to sort them all out, but you're only paying 85 cents, and, you know, you're probably going to sell them for between $8 and, you know, some of them up to $15. So, you know, there's a ton of good stuff. Clothing, I mean, everyone has clothing for sale. Sally Hansen is good. There's a lot of hazmat stuff, you know, nail polish. It's going to be hazmat. Hair color is hazmat. Sunscreen, if it's in an aerosol can, it's going to be hazmat. Drugstore pallets are good. And again, most clothing is sold by the piece. But you can buy Easter and summer pallets right here for $295. You know, and there's dozens of these places in every state. You know, so it's not just Miami, although Miami, you know, does have a lot of good ones. But these right here, you know, they actually paid $0.25 for these because I had the opportunity to buy all these before they did. So I actually buy from the place that they bought these from. They paid $0.25 because I was offered $0.25. He said he sold them to them for $0.25, about 3,500 of them. I even offered these, you know, to the group, and, you know, nobody seemed to want them either. The process means they're in a box, and the ones for $1 aren't in the box. You know, and then, you know, there's all these other, you know, there's all kinds of categories. You don't have to buy everything by the pallet, but, and there's only one place, you know, there's hundreds of these places across the country. So just search for your state, look for liquidation, pallets, closeouts, you know, and just with your location, and just mix all this information up, and you're going to find, you know, you're going to find someplace. You know, you don't have to go there. You know, just get some pictures, talk to them, you know, see if they seem like a reputable company. You know, but the most important part is actually, you know, talking to a rep, building a relationship with them, and you're going to build a relationship with them, and you're going to find, places who are going to be calling you, and you're going to be the first person to email because, if you're selling on Amazon, they know you're buying in volume. They know you're going to buy a lot, and if they can just give you the right thing, all they're trying to do is the same thing we are, which is sell. And if you can help them push some more product through, then you're going to be the first one on their list because you're not going to have to fight and argue. They know, when they're giving you a good deal.
Aaron has a question on shipping.
Right.
Apprehension.
Okay, and what is it?
How shipping costs on pallets? Will they kill the margins on large items? Shipping cost is his biggest source of apprehension.
Well, shipping is expensive. I got 5 pallets. I'm in Tampa on one side of Florida, and I bought 12 pallets, and they was straight across the state. So it was about a 3-hour drive, and it was about $500 for 12 pallets. But it depends where it's coming from. You can get a whole truckload. That might be a few states away from you for about $1,000 shipped, but it goes by the weight, weight and volume. So, you find something you like, you tell them a shipping quote to your zip code, but, the per piece cost is going to be very, very low. If you're buying a whole truckload, I bought 12 pallets, and it was about 7,000 items. So I paid $500 shipping for 7,000 items. So when you average all that out, we're not talking about a lot of money in shipping. You're saving so much money that, over the wholesale price that it's not, it's not really something to worry about. You're going to average that cost into, the overall cost of your buy. Have I purchased truckloads? Yeah, I've purchased truckloads. Like I said, the things I was selling was part of if you're buying a whole truckload or half a truckload, it doesn't matter. It depends on how much space you have for storage. The more you can buy, the better, the cheaper it's going to be, and the less chance you have of, them going through what you buy. Like I said, if you're buying a truckload or a part of a truckload, they're going to send it directly to you from whatever source they have. So, it has less of a chance of them pulling out, items that they might want to keep. But, there's very little of that happening. So it's not really a big concern for me. I would worry less about buying truckloads and more about buying, what you have room to store. And not only if you have room to store it, but you have to have room to still process all the items. So just because you have room for 10 pallets or 2 pallets, you have to have somewhere to be able to sort all that out and, and see what you have and be able to list it and pack it in boxes for shipping.
Awesome. Anybody else? Is that it?
Okay. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up tonight if there's no more questions. And as always, just go ahead and post in the group if you have any questions, or if there's anything else we can help you with. We can make videos during the week. Mm-hmm. And we'll have some more videos going on this week. I think we got one on Wednesday going over some more tools. And if you have any tools that you've been thinking about, buying for your Amazon business, let us know, and we'll see if we can get a discount for it. If the tool you're using, we can do a walkthrough and help you. We have people on our team that have used almost every tool out there for Amazon, so we might be able to help you with some tips.
Yeah, we got some the creators coming on to do webinars and all sorts of good stuff on the products. So if there's something you guys are interested in, let us know. And Aaron, side note, we didn't get the approval, so see if for your account, let us know.
Approval for what?
The account, the sub account.
Oh yeah, I already talked to Aaron about all that, so
okay.
got that all taken care of.
Perfect.
All right.
Everybody have a good night then.
All right. Thanks. Good night.